for the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to the November 22nd work session for the Board of Trustees. So, public comment, anyone wishing to address the board, sign in. 3 minutes per speaker, and we do have a few people who've signed up, and then I'll call on people. So, Dave, state your name and address for the record and stuff. So,
thanks, David Yorio, 76 Winding Way. I just have a brief statement on behalf of SABA. We have a couple questions, and then we're just going to submit some emails from some members. So I'm here to state, along with John and Jim, that SABA and other concerned citizens are opposed to the installation of no parking signs on the Alphabet access roads. We're in favor of opening the roads to allow beach access and to include parking. We believe that opening the roads while not providing parking is in direct violation of the New York State Coastal Management Program Policy or the New York Public Trust Doctrine, specifically where it states, proposals for increased public access to coastal lands and waters shall be analyzed according to the following factors. The level of access to be provided should be in accord with estimated public use. If not, the proposed level of access to be provided shall be deemed inconsistent with the policy. We don't see how creating access points without parking can be in accord with public use. SABA and its supporters believe that in the wake of the pending lawsuit about 4x4 driving on the beach, that more access is needed, not less. We believe the Alphabet roads provide a clear and easy way to decrease traffic to the picnic area and provide alternatives for beachgoers. We will oppose any movement to decrease parking for beach access, and we will actively seek greater access in the coming months. We have a couple letters from our members, one that quotes the Public Trust Doctrine, another one from Susan Friedman and Lisa Walton. I'll submit those to you. They're also in opposition. And we're going to just give you 3 questions. You can either answer them now or get back to us with answers. So in the last meeting, it was stated that the board has received requests to install no parking signs at the Alphabet roads. So we're wondering who made those requests and why those requests were made. There's a U.S. Army Corps of Engineer report. It's the Fire Island to Montauk Point reformulation study. In that study, the Corps notes that they would like to have all access roads opened up to facilitate water flow in case of flooding. I won't go into the details. It's in the report. So we're wondering if the village has considered that, and have you considered the negative effect of flood water management by keeping the roads closed? And our final question, which I alluded to earlier, is how can opening the roads without parking not be in violation of the Public Trust Doctrine? So thank you for your time. Everything's here.
Yeah. You got it. I'll distribute copies. Thanks.
Thank you.
Jim.
Good evening. Jim Williams, number 100 Big Fresh Pond Road in Southampton. During the summer, when we went through all the public meetings concerning the potential limiting access to the beach, at the end of all those, the end of the series of meetings, you made mention that you're putting it on hold. I'm just wondering where we might stand on that at this time. Have you moved forward on it, or
nothing's moved forward, and it's still weird. Close the public hearing, so.
Okay, and also at that time, you mentioned that you were going to resubmit your environmental statement back to the people that made it. There were a few points that the plaintiff brought up that were missing in that environmental statement. I'm wondering if that's been addressed yet.
To go refresh I don't remember what you're talking about.
Okay, at the time, the trustees, you guys came up with an environmental impact statement. I don't know if that's the correct term, but an environmental statement. Basically had a negative declaration showing that our being on the beach or driving on the beach did not have a negative impact on the beach. NECA
That's not true.
Well,
no. You do a negative declaration on the law that was written.
Right.
It says that we were limiting the number of cars that were going to be on there. and by limiting the number of cars, by making that change, did that have a negative impact on the environment? So it wouldn't have a negative impact. Because in theory, what you're doing is you're either, you're capping out the number of cars that might be there. So if we were to, say we were to open it up and say, we opened up all new space and everything like that along there, there's a potential that you could have negative impact on the environment. There's also a potential you could not have a negative impact on it. So that's the whole study. So it's,
Remember, it was kind of sent back to the drawing board. Nika brought up a bunch of points that were not addressed in that. And I'm just wondering if you received your revised.
no, we haven't received any revised because we just put everything on hold, and I didn't want to have our environmentalists go and do any of the work associated with that. So,
Okay, great. I'd also like to voice my opposition in having no parking on our roads. Thanks.
John?
John Kosciuszko, 7 Dover's Path. I guess I'm representing myself and Saba. I concur with everything that David had said earlier. Having no parking on these roads, one, I guess we want to know why, first of all, and who wants that. And second is, if there hasn't been a problem, why should we have no parking put there? Has the chief said, hey, we have so many people parking on these roads now that we have to have no parking put there? I mean, we're not looking to have them paved and have, 20 or 30 parking places, maybe just a few, and just to have people go to the beach as an alternative to, say, the picnic area, Cooper's, or, Halsey Neck or First Neck. I mean, it's one of our greatest assets here, and why can't we utilize it in a proper way? I mean, how do you get to them? Are you going to ride your bike and leave your bike there? I mean, it's just not conducive to our environment here, and we need to, think good and hard, this board, if we want to have that done. Thank you.
Anyone else who didn't sign up would like to speak? Right?
I realized there was a sign-up sheet. Ray Cheminsky, 28 Skinner Street. As a young kid, that was, most of the road, portion of that road was paved, the rest of it wasn't past Road D. And we used to just take and go down and park anywhere, on the left and right, and go clamming and whatever. A couple of years ago, I parked on a right. Me up, but we came to an agreement, and nobody did get a ticket going down the road. So my question is, why are we restricting then that when at one time it was open to everybody and the access was available to all of us local people? And that's basically what my question is. I think it's a shame that we can't take our kids go down to the beach here and go clamming for a while and do the things that we enjoyed when we were kids. So it's something that's been taken away from us. No, thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak? Okay. So we're going to close the public comment section here. No board presentations, no public hearings, no communication to the board, suggested resolutions.
Okay. And one, resolve the reading of the minutes for the public session on November 10th, 2016 be dispensed with, and those minutes be accepted as filed by the village administrator, and the actions taken at the meeting be and hereby ratified and approved. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 2, resolve that the claims for the warrants dated November 22nd, 2016, totaling $2,463,960.93. Warrant 8, General Fund, $400. Warrant 12, Trust Fund, $47,655.23. Warrant 6, Capital Reserve Fund, be ordered and approved. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Discussion. Page 1, Douglas Spann, overpayment on real estate taxes, $2,048.69. Bartlett Tree Experts, beech tree maintenance at SAC, $1,050. Bullen Marketing, Falls Newsletter, $1,910. Bushing Enterprises, training for PD, $4,000. Colin Jacks, uniforms for DPW, $1,652.71. Page 2, East End Underground Utilities, light pole repair on Potato Field Lane, $2,090. First Presbyterian Church, parking lease for December, $3,000. Fundamental Business Services, parking collection fees, $9,502.50. Glencoe supplies for the Highway Department, $1,683.12. Granger, 2 payments, one for a carpet cleaner, $2,899, and a floor machine, $9,499. Island Biogreens, fertilizer, $1,580. Page 4, Messiano Consulting, grant writing services through October, $1,380.83. Moore Medical, ambulance supplies, $1,077.62. Page 5, New York State Employee Retirement System, $970,446 for 2017. December health insurance premium for $272,528.97, and New York State Firemen's Retirement, $1,117,236. Office of State Controller, September collection fees, $8,921. Page 6, Pitney Bowes Mail for Village Clerk, $2,400. Page 7, PSE&G bill for the Fire Department, $4,101.25. Page 8, Southampton Chamber of Commerce, fees for the September Fest 2016, $5,000. Page 9, Squires Holden, survey for 51 Pond Lane, $1,500. Student Worth Consulting's ARB fees for October, $1,050. Studio AB, the balance of the building regulation study, $7,790. Suffolk County Water Authority Parks bill, $1,966.55. Page 10, U.S. Fleet Tech, 2 payments, $1,055 and $1,400 for the interior work, changing cabins on the ambulance chief vehicle, and Verizon October phone bill, $3,751. Next warrant is the Capital Reserve warrant. Payment to Southfork Asphalt for $47,655.23, which is the first payment on the Halsey Neck culvert work. The discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 3, resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves retaining Anthony Tohol, Esquire, to represent the Village of Southampton in the action entitled Michael Jenke and Joseph Betbar versus the Incorporated Village of Southampton, and the Article 78 proceeding entitled Jenke versus the Planning Board and the Village of Southampton. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the transfer of $250,000 from the Facilities Reserve to the Major Equipment Reserve. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the attached schedule of budget transfers to eliminate overages for the period ending November 22nd, 2016. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion. Item 1, $9,000 out of police holiday vacation, $4,000 into police supplies, and $5,000 into police miscellaneous. Item 2, $157,925 out of compensated absences, with $79,192 going into state retirement and $78,733 going into police retirement. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 6, resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the following payments from the Capital Reserve Fund subject to permissive referendum. Payment to South Fork Asphalt, $47,655.23 from the Facilities Reserve. Have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, discussion items. Tom Cummings there was some parking problems down on Mariner Drive. So I'll read you his comments here. I submit for your consideration the following additions to Section 11043, Schedule L of the Village Code, in order to correct the traffic issue on Mariner Drive. If you view them favorably, adding them as an item for resolution at the next possible Village Board meeting would be appreciated. Right now, it is impossible for delivery trucks to turn into or out of William Place because of the vehicles parked on both sides of Mariner Drive, and particularly on the northeast corner of Mariner Drive and William Place. These changes will cause there to be no parking at or near that corner, allowing room for the trucks to turn safely in and out of William Place at Mariner Drive. Ricky Fowler responds by, can I also suggest making no parking around the traffic circle at the end of Mariner Drive as well. Vehicles park around the circle perpendicular, causing the circle to be much smaller and making it nearly impossible for a truck to turn around. Oftentimes, trucks cannot turn around at the circle and are forced to reverse back down Mariner Drive into oncoming traffic so they can turn around at another location.
Dangerous.
You can't get an ambulance through there. You couldn't get a fire truck. It's an industrial park. There's, all sorts of combustible materials that are being utilized in a variety of these shops. And I think it's a safety issue.
Definitely.
So the recommendation of the chief is that to make no parking there, okay?
Yeah, he's got the map, and then he's also got the
Yeah.
proposed code changes there.
So, I mean, the village attorney's not here tonight, so I'd be hesitant to make any kind of code changes and start tonight.
December 8th.
But I think we should bring it back for December 8th.
Okay.
We should all go down and look at that during the workday
Right.
and make a decision as to whether or not we just want to do this area right here and the traffic circle. Or if there's other areas where we think it's even as bad.
Right.
So,
I've been down there and have felt it, even in my car, difficult to get
right,
through.
right.
So if I can't get through, certainly an ambulance won't be able to get through, nor will a fire truck. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, I just get fearful with some of the types of services that are down there. Not being able to get emergency vehicles down there in a drive is an issue.
Well, originally when this subdivision was done and it was declared, I forget what the zoning code. There were no restrictions.
Well, a lot of those places there don't have adequate parking at their facility.
I know.
So if you stop them parking on the circle and on the road, where are they going to go?
Well, that's the next point. Does our zoning in that area require certain setbacks from the building that create grass areas that can actually be converted to parking areas? Which is probably what we should be doing, is pulling this master plan out, looking with the building inspector, and going down to look and see if there's opportunity for parking areas to be built in this area, and then approaching the property owners.
All right, I'll talk to John about it.
All right. For further discussion items, any comments from board members here? Trustee Yastrzemski's not here tonight. Why the meeting's moving quickly, so just bust his chops about that. So, Trustee Irving?
No, I have one comment because it's terrible to see in the village of Southampton real characters that have been in the village that we lose from time to time. And 2 weeks ago, I guess it was, we lost Pat Lanahan, known as Whitey, and he was really a character. He was always smiling. He was, every couple of months he'd come by in the summer over at the marina in a little tiny boat all beat up, and he'd get a slip space from me so he could go down to Legends, and he was just always in such a great character and a great mood. And from years and years ago surfing with him, he's certainly all going to miss him.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely so. Trustee McGann?
Well, the only thing I want to add is the holiday season is upon us, and I hope everybody has good plans for Thanksgiving. And the village is filled with people and a lot of fun over this weekend. I'm sure you'll bring up what's going on at the Southampton Center. And Christmas is in about a week. Time's flying by. Anyway, so I wish everybody a really great holiday weekend.
Trustee Hattrick?
I don't know whether I want to. I'll take one curtain call. Back in April, we each get to do a article in the Village Quarterly, and I wrote one under the title of Hobson's Choice, which I thought the country was up to its ears in Hobson's choices. And I was kind of hoping when the election was over that, well, I didn't know which Hobson we were going to get. So I'm glad the meetings don't last too long, and I can go home and find out what the hell's happened today. Never used to happen in the bad old days. Other than that, Gary was right. The sweet gums are starting to fall a little more rapidly, but I know the boys will be on it, and so I'm not going to mention it.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I just wanted to say this, we've got coming up on Saturday night is the Parade of Lights. It starts basically at dusk, and then followed by the tree lighting in Agawam Park, followed by the Santa Claus at the Cultural Center. And the Cultural Center has some shows that are going on. Also, I think the Christmas Carol they're doing, which is going to be great. We have the Polar Bear Plunge. It comes up on December 10th, and that starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. I encourage people to go out and participate. It's a cold fundraiser, a lot of fun, a lot of smiling faces going into the water, and raised a lot of money for the Human Resources in Hamptons, which is a great organization that helps local people. And also the Southampton Arts Center, we've got a variety of things that are going on here. So. Some films on Friday, the Freebird film for kids. We've got a couple of good shows that are going on. Colorama and the Peace Mural. There's a craft afternoon on Saturday, November 26th, and a few other things that are going on. It's a David Bowie tribute concert also on that night, Saturday night. So. Michael's playing David Bowie. Yeah. And thanks. There you go. But also in the holiday season, I can't emphasize enough the importance of shopping locally. It's these local merchants that are around that that employ people, pay taxes, keep the village the way it looks, and we need to go out and support them. So it's easy to shop online, and you can do it all the time, but you should go out and support local merchants. And then I also want to thank the village departments who've done a great job prepping the village and putting the Christmas trees up and all that for the holiday season. They've done a fantastic job. And the sidewalk replacement, they got it done before Thanksgiving, and they did a fantastic job. So I can't wait for the spring when part 2 comes in, and it's good. So I didn't realize. I knew they were bad. I didn't realize how bad until actually we saw that. So that's the comments from the board. We're going to do the second public comment section. So anybody wishing to address the board, get 3 minutes. So. Anybody else would like to, from the audience, who want to make comment? Okay. All right, so I'm going to make a motion to close the public hearing, public session. We don't have an executive session. We do have an to adjourn to executive session for the purpose of discussing personal matters involving village employees.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thanks for coming out, guys.